How to receive and retrieve downloads from the universe. If you don't know this, all the inspired action, all the great ideas, all the visions, all the aha moments, anything you need to fulfill your goal will come from a download. A download, just like what I said, it feels like a download into your phone, into your computer. Something fantastic will come into your mind to program you to go get your desires. And all of this is coming from what we call the superconscious mind, and it's all diverted through to your higher self, to your subconscious mind. You see, the thing is, the universe does this thing where whenever you want something to be accomplished, we have to process it, and we process it through our logical minds, right? We can see what we want, and we can go forth to what we want. All of that comes in from the universe. And then when you see the sign, you see like the synchronicities. All these things are just the signs that are leading you towards your manifestation. Now, if you want to receive and retrieve downloads, here's how you do it. First thing you want to know about how this stuff works is, someone made this comment, and I thought it'd be a great video to make, that you don't ever have to try to receive downloads. You already have a lot of downloads already. It's natural for you because you're connected to everything. You're connected to the universe and all things working, right? The issue is learning to retrieve your downloads. You have to know how to open the downloads, to unlock the downloads so that you can get them, to process them, to help you to fulfill whatever you want. And when you can do this, guys, you're in another level. It's another game. Because all of us, the universe is constantly communicating to us, giving us the tools, the ideas, the inspired action, the methods for us to accomplish our dreams and our goals. But here's the problem, though. The problem is not that we can't get the downloads. The problem is learning how to retrieve the downloads or processing the downloads. And when you're going to process downloads, you have to have a clear channel. It means your conscious mind, everything have to be kind of set up in order to receive stuff. Now, talk about our brain. Your brain have to be working on optimal capacity to take the information so it can transfer it out to you. Okay, talk about your body. The body have to be in optimal condition so it can send the correct vibration, it has the correct polarity. All of those things contribute to you accessing your downloads. So the point is, every single person right now, you're watching this video, you have tons of downloads. You have so much downloads right now that all the goals and dreams you have been stored up in you for years. And you're trying to figure out, man, how do I get this? How do I get that? But the universe sent it to you. And not only sent it to you, it's actually trying to process it for you. So what's stopping the processing power? Here's what stops the processing power. The breakdown of the body system. Your ego, your conscious mind, stress, cortisol, lack of faith, lack of belief. All these things are contributing to you not retrieving or accessing the downloads from the universe. So Mark, how do I retrieve downloads? I'm going to show you right now. But first, let me tell you how downloads work. Okay, so the thing is, a download comes from the universe, higher self, processes it to your subconscious. Subconscious then sends the information to your gut, which is where your intuition lies. The gut now translates the information again using your logical mind, and you get an intuition to do something. So downloads are always comes in the form of, you get intuition, you may get dreams, and you may get knowing. What knowing is mean that you'll know when to act or take the inspired action. So that's how downloads work. So I'm going to share with you 2 things that you can do right now to retrieve your downloads. There's no master thing, there's no big thing you have to do. But if you can do these 2 things right now, wham, you're gonna have access to retrieving so much download. The first thing is, you have to be able to get at least 6.5 hours to 8 hours of sleep every night. That's number 1. Number 2, your last meal have to be 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. If you can do those 2 things, you're going to retrieve so much of your downloads that's been stored up in you. So why is this so, Mark? Why does this work this way? And let's talk about the sleep thing. The thing is, we transfer energy. A lot of stuff we do, it takes energy to do it. It's invisible energy that you and I can't see with our naked eye, but it's called electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic spectrum of light energy. That's what we give off. That's how we create. And these energies, they have a charge. Positive, negative charge, attract, okay? So in order for you to retrieve, put that download out, your brain have to be at optimal running level. Studies show less than 6.5 hours of sleep diminishes your brain activity. You lose a lot of inspired action, you lose more focus, you get brain fog. Therefore, you're not able to retrieve your downloads. So if you do that one thing, 6.5 to 8 hours, you'll start seeing massive changes. The next one, eating your last meal 3 to 4 hours. Same thing with the brain. The brain, if you're eating your meals right and going to sleep, by the way, most of your downloads come when you're sleeping. You actually don't get downloads during meditation. Did you know that? Most of your downloads come when you're asleep. There's something to think about. The reason why it comes when you're asleep is because your conscious mind is asleep. Therefore, there is no resistance, and you can easily get in, and then you can retrieve it. So keep that in mind. 3 to 4 hours now. If you can do this, the brain doesn't have time. The brain is not digesting the food. The gut is not digesting the food. Now the gut and the brain have optimal energy to retrieve it. And if you do those two things right there, you will start to see more inspired action, more intuition. You'll start to retrieve your downloads. Imagine now you're going to have the ability to manifest, figure out, get the correct idea, get the aha moment for that project, for that goal, to start your business that you've been trying to do for years, but you couldn't figure it out. But it was already in you. Nobody teach you this. Nobody shows you how this stuff works. I have a video in more detail about the sleep and the gut thing. That'll come out pretty soon. But just want you to see how stuff works. That's all you got to do. That's it. There's no magical stuff you have to do. You have to do this, da da da. You know, you can meditate. Meditation is good. What meditation does, meditation helps to provide just a little more downloads into you. But the majority, 80% of your downloads come during if you're taking a sleep, you're sleeping, or you're taking a nap. Point blank. So you see how important that is. So, okay, Mark, what's the benefits of these downloads? You say I retrieve these downloads. How these downloads are going to make me successful? Well, because these downloads are coming from another dimension, and they have all the answers that your logical mind could never figure out. They can tap into the 3D world. They come from the 5D. They tap into the 3D world, and they show you the easiest and effortless way to experience whatever you want. Your mind could never conceive that. All great ideas, all passionate stuff, all very success, they come from an abnormal state of being. They just don't come into your head one day like, oh, I'm just thinking. Well, actually, they come into your head, but you're not thinking logically to do this. This is an inspired thing. This is divine. This is coming from a higher source. So every single person right now, you have tons of downloads stored in you. You just want to retrieve your downloads. To easily retrieve your downloads, let me go back over it again. It's simple. Get 6.5 hours to 8 hours of sleep. Last meal, 3 to 4 hours. Now you're able to process the information because there's no resistance. There is no more system work in the brain, and the gut is ready now. They have optimal energy. They have more power. They can now easily push and retrieve those downloads out. And a matter of fact, it's even better on your ego, because a lot of times the less sleep you have, your ego becomes more tormented and gets more bad, because your ego gets more cranky, it gets more mad at you, you lose more focus. All of these things contribute to the inability to retrieve the information that you need or you desire to help change your life. But that's the power. So what happens? Okay, when you do this, what's the next step now? You're going to notice now. I'll show you again how it works. You're going to see now information goes to your subconscious. Subconscious is going to send it now to the gut. The gut's going to send it to you by the way of your ego, by the way. So God's going to give the intuition. Your ego is going to pick it up, because now you're going to be in a more better mood, better state. You have more optimal energy in your brain. The brain cells are firing off at great speeds now. Everything is running good. More oxygen, all of this. Cells repair themselves, because when you get more sleep, that happens. The gut now produces a lot more good chemicals to help the brain. Endorphins, serotonin, all the dopamine. Most of those stuff now, the DMT, all these things work together, because these are the chemicals that interact with the field, that quantum field in the universe, to create and bring information in from the 5-dimensional world. And then when you get the information, voila, you're going to get it. So your downloads will be based on your desires, the things that you want to achieve. That's the information that's the answers you're going to get. Every one of you have a desire. Every one of you want to create or do something in your life. You've been thinking about it. How can I do this? All of that. Your downloads will come in that order. You never have to ask for downloads. You don't have to say, hey, my higher self, give me a download to figure this out. You don't necessarily have to do that. Your thoughts and your intentions will let your higher self know that. Whatever you desire, like whatever you feel or think about, that's like telling your higher self that's what you want. So don't sweat yourself and be like, man, do I have to tell my higher self, Mark, what I want? All you have to do is think about what you want. That's telling your higher self. And just have the intention to know what you want. Your desire. All of us have desires and goals, right? That's the answers to the higher self. So the higher self automatically knows what you want even before you know what you want. Did you know that? Did you know that your higher self knows everything you want before you know what you want? By the time you get to know what you want, you're already late. You're in delay, because your higher self is you. It sees all your entire timeline. You're constantly in a, like, best way I want to put it, you're constantly in a delay feed with your higher self. It's like we're in a tape. It's going on, but you're in a glitch. You're like behind. So your higher self's already ahead of you. So when you get stuff, you're behind. So if you think about the big picture, if your higher self's already ahead of you, all your dreams and goals, people, are already manifested, man. They're in a 5D. You bring them into a 3D. They already manifested. So you're in a glitch state. You're like back. You're delay feed. So when you do this, you're going to change the game. So that's how downloads work. And you can start to do this today, and you will see great results.